Greetings to everyone out there in the NoDQ galaxy. Welcome to the NoDQ live recap of SmackDown Live for July 16th, 2019. We kicked off SmackDown with an earlier in the day segment. Shane McMahon was talking to security. Kevin Owens arrived, and then Shane told Owens that he had this idea for a SmackDown town hall. Shane McMahon then said that he would actually listen to the locker room. Whatever grievances they have, Shane McMahon would listen to them. But then there was a little catch. Shane McMahon told Owens that Owens has the night off and his services would not be required on this particular evening. There were security guards there and they escorted Owens out of the building. Quick shout out to everyone for tuning in live. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your viewership and support. Cheap plug real quick, NoDQ.com/shirts. There are several new shirts up on that page. Noah Foster has a shirt. There's a new Team NoDQ shirt. Virtue has a brand new t-shirt. So go check it out, NoDQ.com/shirts. Also, you can get NoDQ.com long sleeve t-shirts. You can get tank tops. You can get NoDQ mugs. So if you're Cindy, you can slowly sip your tea while watching NoDQ videos or watching WWE pay-per-views. So anyways, back to SmackDown Live. We had the town hall meeting. There was a recap shown from Extreme Rules, of course. Greg Hamilton did a very lengthy intro for the best in the world, Shane McMahon. There were 2 microphones set up. The entire locker room was on the stage, including Roman Reigns, who was actually not front and center. And this was the only appearance of Roman Reigns on the entire show. Roman just snuck in from somewhere in the group, and he got on the mic and he said that nobody respects you, Shane. And then he added, as far as diplomacy goes, you can kiss my ass. Roman then took off, and that was that. Shane, though, said that Roman Reigns would be fined for his comments. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat, first one of the evening, says 205 lives do not matter. Ouch. Well, do not tell that to our good friends Noah Foster and Cindy. All right, he's back, ladies and gentlemen. Hank Schrader on the shitter has made his triumphant return to the NoDQ channel. He says, I'm here, Aaron. I feel like I watched the Attitude Era of SmackDown produced by Barney the Dinosaur, ... and give Barney the NoDQ belt. So I guess Barney the Purple Dinosaur is the brand new NoDQ Super Chat champion, courtesy of Hank Schrader on the shitter. Anyways, more people were stepping up to the microphone to address Shane McMahon. Charlotte Flair, who has not been on SmackDown much in recent weeks, she thanked Shane McMahon and says that her family is very gracious. I should say Shane's family has been very gracious to her. Liv Morgan then got on the mic and said that just for 1 minute in her life, Charlotte needs to not be a phony. And then Liv added, is there anything real about you? And Charlotte was like, wait a minute, who are you? Do you even work here? Shane McMahon then wanted to know who else had to talk about the Kevin Owens situation, because Kevin Owens had name-dropped several people that Owens felt are being held down, guys that were not on the Extreme Rules card. So Shane wanted to hear from some of those people. We had Buddy Murphy talk for a little bit. He says he doesn't need Kevin Owens to fight his battles for him, and he said if Owens keeps mentioning his name, he will slap the taste out of Owens' mouth. So I guess this is the start perhaps of a push for Buddy Murphy. We'll have to wait and see. We had Apollo say that everyone agrees with what Kevin Owens said. Well, clearly that was not the case, because Buddy Murphy didn't exactly agree with what Kevin Owens said, and neither did Charlotte. So I'm not sure what Apollo Crews was talking about. Zelina Vega then got on the mic and said Apollo is just trying to kiss up to the fans. And then Zelina, on behalf of Andrade, challenged Apollo to a match. Elias strummed his guitar. Elias was about to say something, but then Big E said that Elias is the biggest jackass in SmackDown history. Kofi then talked about how he doesn't like Owens. They have history, of course, but Kofi said Owens made some good points, and Shane was just tired of the segment at this point, much like I think a lot of us were, and he wrapped up the meeting. Everyone left, but then Cesaro came out and said he has something to say. As a wild card appearing on SmackDown, even though he's from Raw, Cesaro challenged Aleister Black to pick a fight with him. And after Cesaro left, we had Kevin Owens appear, and he attempted to give Shane McMahon a stunner, but let's just say in true McMahon fashion, it was botched. Owens got it on the second attempt, and that was your opening segment of SmackDown Live. Quite a lot to digest. Hoofhearted with a $5 super chat. I love that username, Hoofhearted. He says, Hank, you were half the man I am, and I have half the brain that you do. Congratulations to Hoofhearted for once again being the NoDQ's super chat champion. And by the way, that was a reference to Sid for those of you that did not get that. Sid apparently will be on the Raw reunion this Monday. So you guys gots to tune in this Monday just to see Big Sid back on WWE television. That should be fun. I want to know is, where is Scott Steiner? Where is Big Papa Pump? I'm just saying. Hank Schrader on the shitter with a $2 super chat says, the town hall was a lame way to make matches, ugh. And then Big Rocker Johnson with a $2 super chat says, Shane versus Kevin Owens in a lumberjack match. I'm not really sure I want to see a lumberjack match, but that's just me personally. And Anthony says, what happened with Eric Bischoff? Well, I guess Bischoff was not at SmackDown this week. I guess he's still transitioning into the new role, but he should be getting more involved any time now. Apparently he wasn't there, so that's the latest regarding Eric Bischoff. We had Aleister Black versus Cesaro. When this match was announced, I was thinking, oh no, they're going to do 50-50 booking here, and Cesaro's going to get his win back. But no, Aleister Black beat Cesaro clean in the middle once again. He kicked him with the black mass and literally knocked out the mouthpiece of Cesaro, although on the replay, you could see that Cesaro spit it out after being kicked. That was the downside to showing the replay at a different camera angle. It looked far more impressive in real-time speed with the camera angle they shot it at. But the replay, it looked blatantly obvious that Cesaro spit that out. But nonetheless, cool spot here, good match. And I'm glad Aleister, his momentum was not halted with 50-50 booking. I feel bad for Cesaro, but let's be real here. Cesaro is in a position where he's putting over other guys. And there's always a possibility Sheamus comes back and Sheamus and Cesaro can reform the bar. And quite frankly, I think they're best as a team at this point. So backstage, Dolph Ziggler approached Shane McMahon and wanted a piece of Kevin Owens in the main event, but Owens had already left the building. Shane said, if you can get Ziggler or if you can get Owens back in the building, you got your match. Ziggler met with a referee. Apparently he got Owens' phone number, and Owens eventually agreed to come back and fight Dolph Ziggler. Why? I do not know. I mean, he did his damage, and that should have been it, but Owens, he's a rebel, damn it, so he had to come back and fight Dolph Ziggler, the guy he already beat in 15 seconds at the pay-per-view, so okay. Next up, we had Charlotte Flair versus Liv Morgan. Charlotte defeated Liv with the figure eight, and after the match, Liv was crying. She was very upset. She grabbed the headset from Corey Graves, and then she said, and I quote, Charlotte was right, and with my comeback, I gotta be real. Or I'm gonna be real. I'm not sure which one she said. But this got a few people talking, wondering why she used the term real. Of course, she used to date Enzo Amore, who is the real one. I really don't. Can anybody see me? Hello, everyone. I'm back. The Undertaker must not have liked my live stream tonight because he knocked the power out. But apparently I'm back. So for the 10 of you still watching, we're going to go ahead and finish this review because that's how I roll. Welcome to Michigan. Never dealt with this problem in Portland, Caitlin. Just saying. Pouring rain in July. What kind of weather does the Midwest have here? Crazy stuff. Anyways, Tony H left a $5 super chat. So Tony H, you were the new NoDQ super chat champion. Nobody's watching this video, so I'm just going to go. And her mystery tag team partner, who turned out to be the Smackdown Women's Champion Bayley, against Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. The heels went right after Ember and Bayley, but the babyfaces fought back, eclipsed to Mandy Rose, and Ember Moon picked up the win for her team. After the match, we had Bayley interviewed in the ring, and Bayley was asked the question, who is going to be her opponent at SummerSlam? Who's next? Bayley got on the mic and said that she wants to face somebody who has charisma, who has never gotten an opportunity at the championship, and Bayley proceeded to offer the championship match to Ember at SummerSlam. And of course, Ember was very happy about this, and she said, hell yeah. So there you go. Bayley defending the SmackDown Women's Championship against Ember Moon at SummerSlam. Should be a hell of a show in Toronto. I'm actually really looking forward to this, not just because I'll be there with Team NoDQ, but I do like the matches. Like, I know some people are down on Bayley versus Ember, but I'm happy for Ember. I've been praising her for a while now. I always thought she had a lot of potential. I'm glad she's getting this shot. And like I said on last night's stream, I like the fact Natalya's getting a title match in Canada. I think there'll be good heat for that one. So I'm liking the card so far. I know Lesnar and Rollins is a repeat, but I mean, quite frankly, there's not a lot of guys left for Lesnar to even face at this point. So it is what it is. We had Shinsuke Nakamura interviewed backstage, and he said something about how it's going to rain chaos down on the entire universe because he's champion now and he's gonna raise hell. Maybe it was Shinsuke Nakamura that knocked out the power here. You know, he rained chaos down right here where I'm doing this live stream and caused it to go down. Maybe because I called him Shin one too many times. I don't know. Or to quote Lex Luger, I don't know. So we had Ali show up and congratulate Nakamura. So I guess Ali was done with doing these promos in a parking lot talking about how he's going to make a difference and he's going to better the world from evil or some crap, whatever he said in those promos. So yeah, it looks like Ali versus Nakamura. Would not shock me if it's the SummerSlam kickoff. You know how this goes. You know the drill by now. And Hank Schrader on the shitter left a $2 super chat, said, this should keep the power on. I hope so, Hank Schrader on the shitter, but nothing is a guarantee at this point. Moving on here, we had the New Day come out to talk about their victories at the pay-per-view. And it was supposed to be Daniel Bryan's time, but New Day came out instead. Bryan, of course, was going to come out here and apparently make this big announcement. WWE was hyping it up that this was going to be a career-altering announcement from Daniel Bryan. Bryan and Rowan did come out, and Big E offered them a rematch for the tag team titles. Bryan and Rowan came out. Bryan got on the mic. He stalled for a bit, and then him and Rowan walked to the back. They came back out again. Bryan then walked out again, came out a third time, and then dropped the mic and left, and that was the last we saw of Daniel Bryan on SmackDown. So yeah, very disappointing. Clickbait by WWE, bait and switch, whatever you want to call it. They hyped up something, and they did not deliver. Now, granted, Daniel Bryan is a heel, and he's supposed to do these things, but Come on, give us something here. I was hoping Harper was going to show up, or at the very least, Bryan would say, "Hey, I want a shot at the WWE Championship," and they would set up Kofi versus Bryan one more time. Instead, we had Samoa Joe come up, and he's like, "Well, if New Day's offering title opportunities, I want my opportunity at the WWE title one more time." Elias then came out, interrupted Joe, and said, "Well, you already got your chance and you blew it." Elias threw his name in the hat, and then Randy Orton came out and said, "Hey, it's been a while since I've been WWE champion." And then Elias had this idea of making a tag match, a 6-man tag team match. And Randy Orton was like, "Nah, I'm good." I actually thought that this was really funny, Orton just blowing off this idea. Go Randy Orton. But then Kofi Kingston said, the Viper is usually up and ready to strike, but now the Viper has gone limp. And Randy Orton did not like his manhood being insulted, so he agreed to the match. Apparently there were 2 super chats that occurred during the power outage. I apologize. I have no idea what they were because the chat completely collapsed on me. And Caitlin's coming over here to save the day. Okay, so thank you for that. D. Martin 5th says, "No title reign for me. Keep up the good work, Aaron." Yeah, it's a $2 super chat. I was going to say, tough crap if you submitted $5. You're the champ if you submit $5. Vinny Carr with a $5 super chat says, "RKO out of nowhere, but I forfeit the championship to my boy TJS. Keep up the good work, Aaron." All right, well, TJS, if you're out there, you're the new NoDQ Super Chat champion. So congratulations. And maybe if you're lucky enough, the power will go out again. People are saying in the chat room that the Super Chats are not working, period. So wait a minute. Colin Andrew just got one through. So Colin Andrew with a $5 Super Chat says, "5-time champion. Support my show. The chopping block, new episode today. Support NoDQ." Thank you for that, Colin. And thank you, Colin, for picking up a NoDQ t-shirt from NoDQ.com/shirts. I really do appreciate that. Again, cheap plug here. You guys can get a shirt over at NoDQ.com/shirts. We have a whole bunch of new ones up there, so go check it out. Great way to support the site. So we had the 6-man tag team match. Samoa Joe choked out Xavier Woods on the outside. Elias took out Big E, and Randy Orton hit the RKO to pin Kofi Kingston. So it looks like Randy Orton versus Kofi Kingston will once again be revisited. Earlier this year, they were going at it during that gauntlet period, and there was even a reference to when Randy Orton called Kofi Kingston stupid back in 2010. Looks like we're getting Kofi and Randy Orton one more time at SummerSlam, and I'd like to see some kind of stipulation for this, but again, WWE has to do their mandatory pay-per-views with stipulations, and it's lame. Like, this would be a good opportunity to do some kind of stipulation. We had R-Truth and Carmella backstage. R-Truth was hiding in a laundry machine, and Carmella suggested that R-Truth go to Comic-Con. Comic-Con is this weekend in San Diego, where I'm guessing they're not going to have any pouring rainstorms that knock out the power. I'm going to get an earful later, I'm sure, for my anti-Michigan weather comments. But yeah, it should be interesting because Comic-Con is an opportunity for R-Truth to do some funny stuff there at the event, and I like the idea. I'm sure they'll have a bunch of footage on WWE social media. Maybe we'll even get a title change. I like it. I'm fine with it. Sounds good. We had a women's tag team titles match. Yes, the Iconics have finally returned to SmackDown after barely being on television the last several weeks. And speaking of teams that haven't really done much of anything, the Kabuki Warriors got no entrance for this, by the way. So I'm like, well, I don't think they're winning the titles with no entrance. And sure enough, I mean, they didn't lose at least, but this wasn't exactly a productive segment. Iconics got themselves counted out, and then the Warriors attacked them after the match. And I guess this feud to be continued. Maybe a match at SummerSlam. Maybe they'll be on the kickoff. But yeah, it didn't really do much. I think, quite frankly, this should have just been Kabuki Warriors win the titles and try to reboot the division and give it some credibility. But I guess WWE is going to drag it out. So it is what it is. Next up, we had Andrade versus Apollo Crews. Now, Apollo Crews did get a full entrance, which, again, makes me suspicious. Like, if he was going to job out here, he would not even get an entrance. Andrade attacked Apollo before the match even started, got a lot of offense on him, but then out of nowhere, well, basically Andrade hit his double knees in the corner, and then Apollo managed, even after taking this blow, managed to counter into a pinfall, and that's right, Apollo Crews defeated Andrade. So yeah, we'll see how long this Apollo renewed push lasts, but there you go. And then we had the main event segment. We had Kevin Owens versus Dolph Ziggler. Owens tried the stunner right off the bat, but Ziggler managed to not get beat in 15 seconds. Shane McMahon came out with Drew McIntyre, Authors of Pain, a bunch of other guys. Most of the heels came out there. Owens was on the verge of winning the match. He hit the KO stunner when Shane McMahon pulled Owens out of the ring, and then Owens hit the stunner on Shane McMahon and ran away from all the heels. I can tell you this, Stone Cold Steve Austin would not have run away from a fight, even if it was 1 against 10. Austin was the kind of guy that if you had 10 people out there, he'd say, bring it on, and he would fight all of them. So, but I guess Kevin Owens isn't about to fight 10 guys. Shane McMahon, after the segment, did an interview, and he said Owens is going to pay for what he did, and he is going to pay bad. Kevin Owens, you were bad to Shane. You were bad for what you did, and you're in trouble, buddy. You don't mess with McMahon. Psycho Jet Black with a $5 super chat. You might like this one. Psycho Jet Black says, I relinquished the title to Jesus of Nazareth. Thank you for that. And he says, also, do you think Finn Balor is boring? I do not think Finn Balor is boring. However, I think he has been booked in a boring manner. There is a difference. I think if Cesaro, see, I get them all mixed up because they're all just clumped together in the same position in the company. Cesaro, too, for that matter. I mean, I think you could do a whole lot more with Cesaro. So it's not that these guys are boring personas or boring wrestlers. They're just booked in a boring manner, bottom line. And sorry to Jesus. Just like 2,000 years ago, Colin Andrew comes in and takes him out. Happy 12th anniversary, Jeff, for Talk Wrestling. No offense, Aaron. He triggered my addiction to NoDQ. Well, thank you so much for that, Colin. I appreciate it. I'm glad Jeff was able to bring in some people. Jeff, definitely a big part of the channel, so shout out to Jeff Meacham. You should give the title to Jeff. I mean, if you're that much of a Jeff Meacham mark, but nonetheless, congratulations, Colin Andrew, on being the new NoDQ Super Chat champion. So let's go ahead and do the letter grade. Relaxing Ghost says, I seem out of it today. Long weekend. Well, that and the fact that the power went out threw me off just a little bit. Just a smidge threw me off. Anyways, guys, let's go ahead and do our letter grade. I thought SmackDown was all right. I mean, I was a little distracted during the show, but I mean, it was all right. I think the build-up for SummerSlam was pretty good. So I'm gonna give it a C+. I mean, it was more or less an average SmackDown, but few highlights, few good moments. So yeah, C for me, or C+ for me, little above average. Aaron Roca gave it a C+. Darren gave it an F+. More Faves gave it a C. Cindy gave it a B minus. Caitlin gave it a B. Interesting, because I mean you were distracted too. Just saying. Mike B with a C. Stanley Big with a C minus. Mr. Anderson with a B. And Keon Cody with a C. And Hoof Hearted with a Q. All right. And D. Martin 5th with a B. Matt Helms with a C+. So a little bit of a mixed bag here, but overall, I mean, it was a good SmackDown. No real major complaints about it. It was fine for what it was. And hopefully this review was fine. Hopefully it was acceptable after the little technical issues that either The Undertaker or Jesus perhaps were responsible for. I'm not sure who. Or maybe it's just rain does its thing sometimes, and that's life. Psycho Jet Black with a $5 super chat says, "Sorry, Aaron, but I give the title to Rift Aronson, who is more over than EC3. Seriously. And maybe it was Rift Aronson, you know? He felt like, well, I moved on. You know, Rift Aronson is apparently still on the West Coast. And Rift Aronson felt like, well, if I'm stuck on the West Coast, I got to use some supernatural powers to hijack NoDQ. Maybe one of my former colleagues somehow managed to control the weather. I don't know. I mean, there's all sorts of theories. We got the conspiracy theories, and we may never know. And it may not be the last time this happens. So again, I apologize for the technical difficulties. Colin Andrew with a $5 super chat says, "We are NX team. Thank you, Aaron." Well, thank you, Colin Andrew. I really do appreciate it. And congratulations to Colin Andrew for once again being the reigning and defending NoDQ Super Chat Champion of the World. A proud member of the NX team and the NoDQ Galaxy, as all of you are. And I really do appreciate your viewership and support. If you somehow enjoyed this video despite all the chaos, I would encourage you to subscribe, click on that notification bell so you can get the latest video updates and also the latest news updates. I do post some news updates on the channel, so if you turn on your notifications, you should be able to get those updates. So that's all I got. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate you guys, and you guys really do make these feeds and these live streams a lot of fun. So thank you all from the bottom of my heart. And that's all I got to say. Have a great one, everyone. Peace out, and I will see you all next time.